We're going to be looking at building a prototype in Figma. This is an introductory video. There is a traffic jam of videos on YouTube showing you how to do the super fancy stuff, and you can by all means go and watch those and try those out. What I really want to do is show someone who's maybe new to Figma how to build a basic prototype. So no super fancy stuff, just basics. So we have here, and this file you can download from the link in the description. It will be called Paradise Cooking Prototype Start, and you can download it, and then in Figma you can go to your import button and you can import it and open it. And also there's a video file you can download from the same location called cooking.mp4. It's just a standard royalty-free video that we're going to use as well. Okay, so we're going to start on the home page here, and one of the things to mention is that it's really important that you organize your layers and that every page is in its own frame for web prototyping. And I've been very organized with my layers. Now, also another thing to mention is that Figma does have this site separate app for website developers where you can actually create web pages and sites in a slightly different way with a more of a developer angle. I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you just using the straightforward Figma workspace and how to prototype. Okay, so we're going to start at the top with the search bar, and all that I want is for someone to be able to click on the search bar and for it to appear as though they can start typing some kind of search parameter. So remember, it's a prototype, so it's going to create the appearance of how it's going to look. It's not actually going to be functional. So I'm going to double click here to select that item, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to cut it. So not right click, I'm just going to Control or Command X to cut it. And then I'm going to click away and paste and just put it up here in my paste board so that it's not part of the home page. I'm going to convert it to a component. So components are what is going to allow you to create interactions and micro animations. So right click, create component, and then I need a variant to allow me to switch between two different states. So right click, main component, add variant. So we have a default and a variant 2. So in the variant 2, I'm going to double click to select this background color, and I'm going to change it to white. And I'm going to double click the text and just make a pipe. That's shift / on my keyboard. So that's the default state, that's variant 2. So I'm going to click on the default state in this component, go to prototype, and add an interaction, on click, change to variant 2. I want it to dissolve over 100 milliseconds. Then what do I want to happen when I'm finished with it? Well, as I say, it's not going to function like a proper search bar, so I just want after a few seconds for it to switch back to its default. So click on the variant 2, add an interaction. After delay 3000 milliseconds, change to default, dissolve 100 milliseconds. Okay, so that is my search component, and I can find my components on the left-hand side under Assets. If I click on the page, there's my first component there. So I'm going to drag this component onto the page, and I'm going to position it. I think it was 322 on the y-axis. And I'm going to make sure it's in the right position in my layers. So it's going to be under logo there. Okay. And so that's the search component done. Now to put it on all the other pages, all I'm going to do is copy, and then I'm going to go to the other pages, select, right click, paste to replace. And I'll just do that everywhere. Okay, so that's our search bar. Now let's just test it. So I'm going to go back up to the home page, click on the frame there, and then there's a button here to preview. And if I click, it switches, and then after 3 seconds, it will go back again. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want these buttons, all of these sort of dark red buttons, to have a hover effect when I move my mouse over them. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to isolate that item there. So over here, menu button, and I'm just going to copy that, and then just go outside of there and paste it, and I want to bring it onto the paste board here. Okay, and I'm going to make it a component, right click, create components, and I'm going to add a variant, right click, main component, add variant, and for the variant I'm going to double click and change the color to a lighter version of that red, and I'm going to put a white stroke with a 2-point thickness to it. And then to make the interactivity, select the default prototype, add interaction on not on click, while hovering, change to variant 2, and I'm just going to say dissolve over 100 milliseconds. Okay, and that's it. So I'm going to go to my assets. There it is. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm just going to drag it on. Okay, so it's only the dishes one that's going to be interactive. The other one, we're actually on the home page, so we don't want any interaction there. Then back under files, I need to put it in the right place. So it's going to go here inside the dishes group, and I'm going to delete the original. Okay, so now I've got that. I can just copy it, and I can go into the different parts of each page and change those same buttons quite easily. So under cards over here, card 1, more, menu button, right click, paste to replace. Card 2, more button, menu button, paste to replace. And card 3, paste to replace. Now I'm probably going to speed this up, so I'm going to stop talking. Okay, so I've done all the buttons, so they should all have the same behavior. Let's just test on our home page to see that it's working. Okay, so if I move my mouse over that dishes button and these more buttons, they all have the same micro animation or transition. Okay, so next what I want to do on the home page is put a video in this gray area here. So I'm going to double click to isolate it. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. And then I'm going to go down here and choose image video. The video is called cooking.mp4. I'm going to open and then click on here to add it in there. I'm going to double click and then click and hold and just drag to position it a little bit better. Okay, so the video is added in there. Let's just test quickly. Okay, there it is, working nicely. All right, so the last step, now that we've added in our little micro interactions and micro animations, is the navigation from page to page. Now there's a number of ways you can do that. So under the prototype tab here, you can select items and then you can drag from this little plus button to choose where you navigate to when you click on that item. However, I rather do it from my layers so that I'm more precise. I just feel like I'm more in control. So I'm just going to move out a little bit so I can see everything. Okay, and we're going to start with the menu in the header, and we're going to start with the dishes button. The home button doesn't have any interaction because we're actually on the home button. So for the dishes button, the interaction is going to be on click, navigate to dishes, and I'm going to make it instant. Okay, then in the main section of the home page, card 1, more button is going to be on click, navigate to recipe 1. For card 2, more button, on click, navigate to recipe 2. And then 3, more button, navigate to recipe 3. So I'm going to carry on doing this, and I'm just going to speed it up so that all of our buttons are linking to where they need to go to. Okay, so that should be all of our navigation done. So let's go back to the home page and let's test this whole prototype. You can see that you can choose to present or preview. Preview is more previewing specific items that you have selected. Present is more of the entire page. So I'm going to click on present. Okay, so we've got our search. We've got our dishes, takes us to the dishes page. Back home again, we've got our video playing. We've got our 3 recipes, 1, 2, 3, and our dishes page with links to the same recipes. Okay, so all of the navigation is working and all the micro animations are working. Obviously, you can continue working on this and building micro animations and interactions into the bottom section, but this should be a good introduction to get you started in prototyping for Figma.